Charlie Brown has famously asked, "Isn't there anyone who understands what Christmas is all about?" Well, when we look around, it seems as though Christmas is about stuff, right? Christmas is launched on Black Friday with super sales and mountains of money to be saved. We're finishing polishing off the remnants of Thanksgiving dinner, and Christmas shopping starts in earnest. Then, of course, there's Cyber Monday, when we light up the internet and we fill up computer shopping carts. Have you noticed that Cyber Monday keeps on going for days? We cut down a Christmas tree, or we take out that more real than life artificial tree, put it up, cover it with lights, and put our favorite ornaments on it. If you have some Scandinavians in your family, as I do, you've been to IKEA to get Swedish meatballs, lingonberries, limpa, Swedish braid, and the best of all, sill. Raw pickled herring. It is just unbelievably good. And if you have some Puerto Rican, which I am, you got to have some pasteles in the holidays. And then there's Christmas Day itself. All the food, the gifts, the wrapping paper everywhere. It's all just great stuff, isn't it? Now, there are always critics around this time of the year. They ask, is this really what Christmas is all about? Christmas has become too materialistic. Several years ago, the comedian Chris Rock ripped into American materialism, and in an article written by Regina Holmes, she comments on what he had to say. He says, "Many truths are told in jest." During comedian Chris Rock's comedy set on NBC's Saturday Night Live, he made valid points about the commercialization of Christmas. "In America, there are no sacred days because we commercialize everything," the 49-year-old noted. "Christmas is Jesus' birthday," he said. Rock continued, "Now, I don't know Jesus, but from what I've read, Jesus is the least materialistic person to ever roam the earth. No bling on Jesus. Jesus kept a low profile, and we turned his birthday into the most materialistic day of the year." And she says it's hard to argue against that. But are we in fact too materialistic in our view of Christmas? I would argue that we are not. The reality is that God is the biggest materialist of them all. I mean, all you got to do is go to the first verse of the Bible, where it says, "In the beginning God created the heavens and the earth." That's a lot of material right there. And by the way, he created it all for his own enjoyment. I mean, he goes around making stuff out of nothing, and as he goes along, he says, "That's good. That's really good." And do you know how the Bible ends, by the way? God recreating the physical world into a new heaven and earth. Raising people physically, materially from the dead to live on this new earth. And he comes to dwell with them on that new material earth. So no one is a greater materialist than God. But the greatest and the most astonishing reality of the materialism of God is declared in John 1:14. The Word became flesh. John here writes the most awesome summary of Christmas. Here we find the most significant words in all of history, in all of theology, in all of literature, in all of philosophy. The Word became flesh. He entered into his own material creation. The Word, that is, Jesus became flesh, and John says, made his dwelling with us. The Word, that is Jesus, says John, who was in the beginning, who was with God, who was God, who made all things, who is the source of all of life, he became flesh. God became an actual person in time and space. What mattered most in the universe became matter. The one in whom all meaning is found became material. You see, if there is anything true about Christmas, if there's anything that's at the very heart of the Christian faith, it is this: the Word became flesh. This is the profound and the materialistic truth of our faith. God became flesh. He became a human baby. He pooped in those swaddling cloths and had to be changed. And the smell of sour milk from all that spit up, it was there. He was born of the Virgin Mary in Bethlehem some 2,000 years ago and attended Nazareth Junior High. God became flesh. Why? Well, he became flesh to save us. He became one of us to pay for the sins of all who would but believe in him. He bore his sins, says Peter, in his body on the tree. He died on a wooden Roman cross. He became one of us to live a perfect earthly life for all who believe in him, so that his record of earthly perfection could become our record. He became one of us to give the hope of eternal life, resurrection from the dead, and a new material life on a new material earth, but with none of the sorrows of this life. So, celebrate Christmas. Enjoy all the food, the lights, the trees, the gifts, the music, the friends, the family, all the materialistic stuff of Christmas, remembering and celebrating that the Word became flesh. God entered into our material world to save us, spirit and body. So, Merry Christmas from Jesus. Amen.